Welcome back to Cheese Kitchen. Today we are going to make one of the all-time favorite appetizers. It's called Spinach Artichoke Dip. Super easy to make. I discovered this dish, eating in restaurants. That's usually what you be ordered for appetizers. You eat it with chips. And then I went to a party and someone made it. It was simply delicious. So I went and researched it online and found a recipe that I liked. And then I kind of tweaked it, added some extra oomph to make it more personalized to my taste. Okay, so let's get started. This is a very easy recipe that everyone's gonna love. First, what you're going to need is some spinach. I have here some frozen spinach. You can use fresh or frozen spinach. Um, I like frozen because it's easy and convenient, and it's already cooked and chopped up into little bits. You can make it with fresh spinach as well. It works great, but you do need to end up having to chop it down to little bits. So this just saves you some time, and it comes out to be the same. Then you're going to need some artichoke. You want artichoke hearts that's been quartered. That way it's less work. We have to chop them down anyway. And this one can will be perfect for one recipe. Then you're going to need some sour cream right here. You also need some cream cheese. The recipe only asks for half a block of cream cheese. You're also going to need some mayonnaise. This is optional. I like to have a little spicy kick in this recipe, so I'm using some canned jalapeños. If you want less spicy, you can use green chili peppers. They're not as spicy, but it gives you that little kick, tiny bit. You also need some fresh garlic. One bunch is what's needed for this recipe. You will need some cheese. One of the kind of cheese you'll need is Parmesan. Shredded is perfect. And another kind of cheese you're going to need is Italian blend. This has different variety of Italian cheese already mixed in together. Let's talk about equipment. You basically need very little. You need a bowl to mix things in with. And you need a baking dish to bake your artichoke dip. This recipe is perfect for this size. This is a quiche dish, okay? And this is perfect. It's about 10.5-inch diameter. So this is perfect for one recipe. If you want to double the recipe, which I plan to do today, I'm making for a party, so I'm going to double up the recipe. This kind of pan is perfect. Okay, so it's a rectangular pan, like a regular size cake pan, but I use a glass kind. This will be great for doubling the recipe. Okay, I think we are ready to start making our spinach artichoke dip. First, we're going to prepare the spinach. So remember, the spinach was frozen. I've already frosted it overnight. And what I did was I unpackaged it and squeezed out all the excess water, as you can see here, and then just let it dry, sitting there drying on a paper towel, probably for 20-30 minutes to get it all dry. And all I'm doing is I just take these bunches and I put it in my mixing bowl. So as you can see, all I'm doing is I'm crumbling the little bunches of spinach into my bowl. To separate them, it looks like this in the bowl. So my spinach is all crumbled up. What I'm going to do is add the cheese. Here's my Parmesan cheese measured out. Remember, this recipe only asks for 1 cup. This looks a lot. It's actually 2 cups. I am doubling the recipe, just remember that. So in goes my Parmesan cheese. I'm going to leave a tad behind to sprinkle on top at the end. Here is the Italian blend cheese. What's nice about this recipe is it doesn't matter the order of you putting in the ingredients. You can put them in any order you want. Again, I'm going to save some Italian blend cheese aside to sprinkle on top later. Then I'm going to put in the mayo. Next, I'm going to mix in the sour cream. Next, I'm going to put in the jalapeno peppers. Make sure you drain it first because it is rather liquidy, as you can see there, before you put it in your bowl. So here are my garlic cloves. The hard part working with garlic is to get the skin to come off. So what I do is I gently crush it first to let the skin just fall off by itself. So what I do is I take a mortar and pestle and I just put in a garlic clove and I gently give it a few taps. Okay, what you'll see here is the skin is already broken up and it falls right off. Isn't that nice and easy? So our garlic pieces are now all peeled. We're going to mince them. Mincing means we just cut them into very small pieces. Now our garlic is all minced. We're going to just dump everything in our bowl. All right, next we are going to cut up the artichokes. I've already removed all the excess water. I've dumped them out. Now I'm just going to take the artichokes out and start chopping them. As you can see, quartered artichoke bits look like this. We're going to chop them up. This one piece, I would chop it up into thirds. Make 2 cuts. So now what I end up is pieces like this size, which is perfect. All right, so my artichokes are all cut up. I'm going to dump them in the bowl. Our last ingredient is the cream cheese. The cream cheese comes in a big block like this. You don't want to just dump that entire block in. It's going to make the mixing really hard. So I just break them into little bits first, and then I just throw it into the bowl. So I just pinch off a little bit like this and just do that. That will make your mixing way easier. All right, so all of our ingredients are in the bowl. Now it's just mixing them up. I use a wooden spoon to mix them all up. Also, by the way, I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees already, and it's almost ready for me to put this in. As you can see, the mixture is all combined very well. It looks like that when everything is mixed well together. Now we just have to dump all of that into our baking dish. All right, so our mixture is all spread out in our baking dish. Remember those extra cheese we left behind? We're going to sprinkle all of that in. I'm going to do the Italian cheese first, just sprinkle it all in. Next comes the Parmesan cheese. All right, our artichoke dip is ready to be baked in the oven. Make sure you bake it uncovered in 375 degrees Fahrenheit. What you'll be looking for is when it's done cooking, you'll see it, everything's kind of melted together. It might be bubbling up a little bit, but it should not look brown or burnt in any way. So put it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. All right, I think the artichoke dip is ready. Let's pull it out of the oven and see. As you can see, it's all nicely melted, blended together. Along the edges, a little bit crispy and brown, but the center should not be brown at all. It's going to be a great hit at your party. Here are some tips on what you can eat with it. We normally eat it with tortilla chips. You can eat it with crackers. If you like, you can also cut up carrot sticks and celery sticks and dip it in that. You could also spread it on toast. So many ways to eat this wonderful appetizer. I hope you try it and like it too. See you next time on Cheese Kitchen.